World War III started in 2045 due to famine across the world and lasted for 20 years. The world is about to be destroyed, but it is saved by the International Association of Magicians. In Okinawa during 2092, a 13-year-old Tatsuya Shiba, to protect his sister, single-handedly destroyed a 6-ship fleet. With only one attack, he became known as Mahasvara, the Demon King. Such a feat at that age made him an unregistered strategic class magician for Japan. 3 years later, after the Akawana accident, Tatsuya Shiba enrolls in the Magic First High School, an affiliate of National Magic University, as a second course student. Although his exam scores are excellent, he has low practical skills. His sister, Miyuki, is furious at this and decides not to give a speech at the entrance ceremony, but Tatsuya convinces her to do it. Tatsuya meets the student council president, Shigusa Mayumi. In this school, first course students are called blooms, while second course students are called weeds, or simply saying, they're considered trash. Tatsuya attends the ceremony. He meets Shibata Mizuki and Chiba Erika, who are both weeds. Mizuki assumes Tatsuya and Miyuki are twins because they have similar auras. Tatsuya decides to be careful around Mizuki and not expose his aura, as he has a secret to keep. Tatsuya's family ignores him because he decided to stay in school as Miyuki's bodyguard and guardian, instead of helping on his father's business. Tatsuya trains ninjutsu, while Miyuki is being teased by his master. Tatsuya fights with him but loses because his master needs to use magic to put a fight. At school, Tatsuya meets Seiju Leonhardt, who asks him about his magic specialty. Tatsuya reveals he does not excel in practical skills and he is aiming to be an engineer. Miyuki wants to have lunch with her brother, but some Bloom students explain that she cannot associate with the weeds. After classes, there is a division between Blooms and weeds. This leads to a fight, but Mayumi arrives and breaks things up. They are all about to get into trouble with the student council, but Tatsuya helps dissolve the situation. When questioned about one of the girls casting magic, he replies it was a flash magic, revealing he has the ability to read activation sequences while they're being deployed. Such feat is considered impossible because when casting a spell there's 30,000 characters in just a split second. Miyuki apologizes and Mayumi chooses to let it go, warning them not to let it happen again. Hanoka and Shizuku, first course students, thank Tatsuya for helping them out. Miyuki and Tatsuya decide to go home, but they are stopped by Mitsui Hanoka, who asks if they can join them while heading home. On their way, everyone finds out that Tatsuya can modify CAD and everyone is impressed by this. On the next day, Mayumi invites Tatsuya and his sister for lunch with the student council. Miyuki is asked to be the secretary of the council, but she requests that they also accept her brother. Mary states that only first course students can become student council members, but suggests to make Tatsuya a member of the disciplinary committee. He tells his friends and Erika informs him about the dangers of being a member. Later, Tatsuya meets Hattori Jayabu, who tells Mary that he does not believe weeds should be on the committee, which upsets Mary. She explains Tatsuya's ability to read activation sequences directly, and Hattori is surprised by this, claiming that it's impossible. Mary believes Tatsuya being a member of the committee will also reduce the discrimination course two students face, but Hattori rejects him as a member. Miyuki tries to stand for her brother, but Hattori insults her by calling her short-sighted. Tatsuya challenges Hattori to a duel after Hattori insults his sister. Hattori thinks he's going to simply destroy Tatsuya. However, Tatsuya wins the duel in a split of a second. When asked about his win, Tatsuya reveals to Mary that he defeated Hattori using his physical abilities. He also revealed that he manually applied different calculations to each Seon waves. These calculations made them converge into one place to make Hattori feel drunk and pass out. Azusa finds out that Tatsuya's CAD is made by the legendary magic designer, Taurus Silver, which is one of his alias. Taurus Silver is the first man to implement the loop cast system, which advanced magic usage by 10 years, which, when Hattori gets up, he realizes that Tatsuya's score is because of the school's assessment of magic and not his true abilities, and apologizes to Miyuki. Mary takes Tatsuya to their headquarters, where he tells her that her plan to eradicate discrimination will backfire. Mary tells Tatsuya that Shun Morisaki, the student who assaulted him, will be joining them on the council. He meets with other members of the committee, Sawaki Midori and Tatsumi Kaoru. Although they doubt him initially, they are surprised to learn he defeated Hattori with ease. At night, Miyuki asks Tatsuya to adjust her CAD as she wants faster casting spells. Tatsuya and Shun are placed on patrol and granted permission to use their CADs if necessary. Tatsuya chooses to use two committees' CADs, despite being old models. The Kendo and Kenjutsu clubs fight over the demonstration space. The Kenjutsu champion, Kirihara, uses lethal magic to attack Mibu Sayaka, a member of the Kendo club. However, Tatsuya steps in, stops the fight and defeats Kirihara. The entire Kenjutsu club attacks Tatsuya for arresting Kirihara. Tatsuya briefs Mary and Juomonji Katsudo, the supervisor of all clubs, about the incident with Kirihara. They commend Tatsuya for a job well done. While having dinner with his sister and friends, Tatsuya reveals he accidentally created a new technique, the specific magic jamming, which he used to counter Kirihara's attack. He achieves this by using two CADs at the same time, inputting different variables on each one to cancel magic. Tatsuya asks that they keep it a secret as it could destroy the foundation of magic. The next day, Tatsuya receives an emergency call about a brawl and proceeds to intervene. However, he is attacked by an unknown assailant. He wards off the attack and his assailant runs away. Mibu wants to talk to Tatsuya. However, Miyuki believes she wants to date him. Mibu invites him to join the kendo club, but Tatsuya refuses, demanding to know the reason for her invitation. Mibu wants to create an organization that consists of people that can't use magic and fight discrimination. Tatsuya is not convinced and asks her what she intends to do after she achieves her goal. Tatsuya explains Mibu's goal to the disciplinary committee and they believe that she is being manipulated. Tatsuya wonders if it is Blanche, an anti-magic organization, and tells the committee he is waiting for Mibu's answer before making his decision. Mibu meets with Tsukasa Kino, the Kendo's club captain, who tells her to recruit Tatsuya because they need his power. At night, Tatsuya talks to Miyuki about Blanche, calling them a terrorist organization, and believes he would have been like them if he did not have a special ability. He further states that Blanche wants to reduce the country's power. Such a feat will result in a fight against the 10 master clans, especially from their clan, the Yatsubas. Tatsuya continues to train to try to improve his practical skills. Mizuki wonders how he has a very fast processing speed but has low practical skills. Tatsuya notes that he is studying magic to create energy and this excites and motivates Mizuki to have goals. However, when Tatsuya was 6, the Yatsubas performed the artificial magician experiment on him, forcing him to become a magician. Later, Tatsuya is unimpressed by Mibu's answer and declines her invitation. A group of weeds called the Sympathizer Alliance, led by Mibu, locked themselves in the broadcast room as a way of protesting against discrimination. Mary wants to use force, but Jumanji wants a peaceful approach. Tatsuya calls Mibu, he tells her that they are ready to negotiate and promises she will not be harmed. The committee arrests them as soon as they come out, but Mayumi frees them and wants to negotiate with Mibu. The negotiations end unsuccessfully and Mayumi decides to hold a public debate as she wants the people to decide. Tatsuya finds Mizuki talking to Tsukasa Kino, the man that previously attacked him. Their sensei educates them about the history of Kino and discloses that Kino's brother is the leader of Blanche's Japan branch. The next day, the debate starts and Mayumi wins the heart of the student, putting an end to the protest. While they celebrate, terrorists attack the school. The school foils the terrorists' attacks but finds out that the attack is just a distraction. They just want to steal classified information about the Magic University in the library. Tatsuya defeats the terrorists in the library and arrests Mibu, who was defeated by Erika. Tsukasa is also arrested after a truth serum is used on Mibu. Mibu realizes that she was never bullied or discriminated against by Mary. She once asked Mary to be her training partner, but Mary rejected it because Mibu's level was much stronger. Tatsuya comforts Mibu. He decides to wipe out the remaining members of Blanche alone, but his friends and sister want to help. They find Blanche's hideout and set out to attack them. Kirihara, having feelings for Mibu, also tags along. They arrive at the hideout and plan out their strategy. Tatsuya and Miyuki are confronted by several members of Blanche, including Tsukasa Hajime, who asks that he join them. Hajime tries to hypnotize Tatsuya, but he counters it and realizes it was being used on Mibu. Hajime retreats and Tatsuya goes after him, while Miyuki defeats the other members of Blanche, freezing them all near death. Although a jamming spell is used, Tatsuya is unaffected and dispatches members of Blanche. Kirihara appears and cuts Hajime's arm off, making Jumanji stop the blood flow. When Tatsuya visits Mibu in the hospital and tells her that she and Kino will not be prosecuted as they were under mind control. Meanwhile, Yotsuba Meyer is informed about Tatsuya's actions. She believes her nephew won't betray the Yotsuba family as long as he remains Miyuki's guardian. When Mibu is discharged, her father thanks Tatsuya for saving his daughter. He reveals he knows about Tatsuya's military secret but promises not to tell anyone. Tatsuya and Erika tease Kirihara about his crush on Mibu. On their way home, Miyuki states Tatsuya does not have to attend high school because of her, but he reassures her that he is happy here. Meanwhile, Masaki, the Crimson Prince, after slaughtering his enemies, finds out about the terrorist incident. He believes members of the 10 families from the first high school handled it easily. Tatsuya and Miyuki train with his sensei for the upcoming 9 school competition taking place on Fuji exercise grounds. They are approached by the school's counselor, Haruka. She is an investigator of the Public Security Agency. Tatsuya promises not to tell anyone as long as she updates him about any upcoming terrorist group threats. Tatsuya and the committee prepare for the competition, and he is asked to be part on the technical staff of the school representative. While the council is researching the flying technique and asks Tatsuya for his opinion, he surprises everyone around him when he claims they failed on creating the flying technique because they lacked understanding on counter magic. Tatsuya is appointed as a member of the technical staff. Some blooms complain about such decision and he must go on a trial. He gets accepted into the team after displaying his skills by manually copying Kirihara's unique CAD specs to a competitive on, displaying his expert skill level. At night, Tatsuya is contacted by Major Kazama, revealing that Tatsuya is a special lieutenant under the alias of Irregular. The Major asks him to be careful in the competition as the area is filled with members of the No-Head Dragon, an international crime syndicate. Later that night, Tatsuya finally develops a new CAD plus the flight technique magic, another considered impossible feat. He asks Miyuki to test it out before a mass test at FLT. On their off day, Tatsuya and Miyuki visit Director Ashiyama in the FLT Development Center, and he shows Ashiyama the flying CAD prototype. Ashiyama is Taurus, the hardware specialist, and Tatsuya is Silver, the software engineer. To the public, Taurus Silver is an unknown person, but in reality they're a duo. The flying CAD is tested, and although it is a success, it drains the energy of the user. Tatsuya and Miyuki encounter their father with Aoki, the family butler. Aoki expects Miyuki to become the next head of the Yotsuba clan. Tatsuya is seen as a mere bodyguard in the family, despite being the firstborn of Shiba Miya, the elder sister of the current head. Aoki insults Tatsuya, but he replies that insulting him is the same as insulting his aunt and his mother. His father asks Tatsuya to not resent his mother, but Tatsuya can't resent her. Due to the experiment when he was 6, he lost almost all of his emotions. The only one that remained is for his sister. The school representatives are officially unveiled to the school. Mizuki spots Mikahiko practicing spirit magic and is unintentionally attacked, but Tatsuya saves her. Mikahiko believes Mizuki has crystal eyes, which grants her the ability to see variations of spirits and their strength. Later, the representatives are on their way to the competition, but an accident occurs, putting their lives in danger. Miyuki and Jomonji save the students using their magic. However, Miyuki is the only one who knows that her brother also helped by removing the spells protecting the car. The students arrive at Fuji Exercise Grounds, and after witnessing Miyuki in action, Hattori starts to lose his confidence. Kirihara reassures him and confesses he believes Tatsuya has a high thirst for blood and the siblings are not normal people. Tatsuya believes it was not an accident, but a suicidal attack by the driver. Erika and Mizuki, Mikahiko, and Leo are also present on the grounds due to Erika's connections. However, they have to work in the hotel. Masaki takes an interest in Miyuki. The director of the Magic Association, Kyuduritsu, activates a weak, yet large-scale magic. He gets disappointed because only 5 people figured it out, one of them being Tatsuya. The females go for a bath trying to take the tension out of the competition. While training, Mikahiko notices there are intruders present and tries to alert security. He attacks the 3 intruders, but he is saved from being shot by Tatsuya. Mikahiko is surprised by the accuracy of Tatsuya's attacks. Tatsuya tells him that he needs to have confidence in his abilities. The competition begins and it will last for 10 days, 5 days for newcomers, and 5 days for veterans. First High is aiming for their 3rd consecutive win. Mary wins the first round with ease. Tatsuya is invited to a meeting with the military captains and major. They address him as Tatsuya, their comrade, and not as Special Lieutenant Uguro Ryuya. They tell him to be vigilant, as there are bound to be more attacks by the No-Head Dragon. Mayumi wins the speed shooting contest with a perfect score. After the first day of the competition ends, First High is in the lead. Tatsuya agrees to handle most of the technical work for the school, but he is later asked to handle only Mayumi's match. First High continues to dominate on the second day of the competition. Tatsuya works on a weaponized integrated CAD and asks Leonhardt to test it out. The new CAD is some sort of a sword. It can detach and reattach. Leo uses it against some dummies, and the test is successful. Mary loses and ends up in the hospital after preventing an accident involving another competitor. This takes her out of the competition. Mayumi and Tatsuya believe it is not an accident, and they investigate the incident with the help of Mizuki and Mikahiko. Tatsuya believes the culprit hid underwater or used spirit magic. They also believe the CAD of the other victim was tampered with. Miyuki becomes the substitute for Mary in the Mirage Bat event and Tatsuya becomes her engineer. The First High participants continue to advance in the competition, but they are barely in the lead. First High continues to dominate, all thanks to the tuning work of Tatsuya. Tatsuya creates a new type of magic, but decides not to take credit for his work. Masaki and Kichijouji Shinkuru Also known as Cardinal George, believe that First High is only winning because of their engineers and admit Tetsuya is a genius. Honoka wins her qualifying match with ease thanks to Tetsuya's strategy. Miyuki asks why Tetsuya refuses to take credit for the new magic he created. Tetsuya reveals he is respecting his aunt's wishes, as Magic University can find out that he is silver. He tells Miyuki that he cannot overthrow his aunt. He can defeat her one-on-one, but the family won't accept him as their leader. Miyuki assured him that she would always stand by his side. Mary finally leaves the hospital and decides to cheer Miyuki and Tetsuya on. Miyuki wins a match in the pillar break competition with 0 difficulties using the Inferno spell. Tetsuya gets praised for his amazing engineering skills, and this makes Murasaki mad, and vows to prove that blooms are better than weeds. This is all for this anime. Give the video a like, and I will see you in the next minutes.